and welcome to Stanchion. My name is Lee, this is James, and this is Luke. And we are going to talk everything football. So today, boys, I like to start off, and the transfer window's just gone. So let's talk about some of the big transfers coming in, big transfers coming out, some of your favourites, and how you see the season going.
Well, yeah, delighted to be on the show. Delighted to start a new journey.
Pleasure.
Which is great. If any of you have found your way to the show, then you're in for a real treat. Transfers. Well, I mean, where on earth do you start, Luke? What do where are you at?
I thought this was. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the end of the transfer window. Yeah, I expected more with this vicious little cycle at the end. I thought I'd wake up and see a little bit more, to be honest. What happened to Nicholas Jackson in the end, by the way?
I think he went to Bayern.
Is he gone? Did it happen?
Yeah, I believe that the
I'll
loan
double check
went
that.
through last
Because
year.
there was a lot of this is happening, that's happening, and then you're not surprised.
Yeah, looking at some of the transfers that have come through, and like you said, some of the ones that were going to happen at the end,
Yeah.
a lot fell through this year.
It takes something away from it for me when I've heard it a week ago that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it happens. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
Well, that was wasn't going.
Yeah.
Was going.
Do you know what
then
I
it
mean?
got stopped.
And then
it went through.
I don't really care now. I hope he does well, to be fair, but it just takes something away from me. Like,
I enjoy most seasons on transfer windows waking up, because it's now not an 11 o'clock finish.
Yeah.
It used to be a lovely 11 o'clock finish. Stay up,
Yeah.
watch it. Because it was late, you would go to sleep and things would still happen till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And you would wake up in the morning and you would say, oh my God, so-and-so's gone
Yeah.
to XYZ.
but was there any moves that you were genuinely surprised at when it happened? Like, that's what I missed.
Nothing blew my mind this year.
I thought Xavi Simons to Tottenham. I thought he was nailed on to go to Chelsea. That surprised me.
Yeah,
and
but
Kolo Muani out of nowhere.
But
as
he
well.
was always gonna
Newcastle,
move.
Voltemader. That was a bolt from the blue. That was old school transfer. That was out of nowhere. The last one I ever saw, that was probably Fabinho to Liverpool, where there was no build up, no links, no nothing, just bang.
How do you two feel about the two strikers Newcastle bought in with the Isak money? Do you reckon they've done well? Or do you reckon...
I think they've took a gamble on the German. I think he had a good under-21 tournament.
Really good tournament,
but so did Dominic Solanke.
But that takes nothing away from Solanke. I think Solanke's career is not as good as it could because of injuries.
Okay, all right, granted that.
I still think the talent was fair with Solanke.
I think
the
it's
jury's
a
out
risk.
on that one.
It's
for
a
me.
risk. They've taken a risk, and they've really put. I don't know whether they've put the money that they are obviously going to receive for Isak, and they've put it to one side, and they've gone, right, let's buy somebody who's had a good enough run up to this transfer window, and they've looked around, and 90% of those transfers they would go for have already been made.
Yeah,
he was kind of the.
I did think Shran Larson suited them better.
He did. He's the sort of player.
I feel he would have done well for them.
He's played in the
Prem. He's got that Premier League experience, which is a premium, and I think that's important. However, what I will say quickly on Newcastle, I think they've overpaid for Visser. I think £55 million is a big. He's 29 years old.
I know, but when he's 29 and he's Prem proven, that's
what for
if
2 years.
If you can get another 3 or 4 years out of him.
My question is what position does he play?
Striker.
So is he going to play? I thought he was a winger.
He was a right winger.
He can play off the right,
which makes me go.
But when he's played with Mbermo for the last however on that right hand side, he's an established striker now. And you've got to remember the numbers he's put up is without penalties. I think people take that for granted.
And for Brentford,
assistance.
Oh yeah, but Brentford's system under Frank was
it was good. But they're a top 10 team, so I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I think he's done remarkably well in a team that isn't, let's say, a bona fide elitist top 6 team. He's done well with good numbers.
Think the money's fair.
Think that's the beautiful game, isn't it? I think some people think like yourself, and you're entitled to think that's value for money. I think the Voltemader one was probably par for the transfer fee, but he lit up the under-21s as the number 1 striker. I think at the tournament he was excellent.
It's very much a Chelsea signing. The talent is there, but you pay for it. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, then you've spunked a load of money.
But Chelsea are good at doing that. They do bring in youngsters a lot, But then in 2-3 years' time, if they haven't succeeded and gone on, they just sell them.
Yeah.
But they'll sell them for still a good profit.
They're lucky that Saudi was on their side when they got rid of the Mendys, the Koulibalis. It didn't work.
Well,
Because they paid that premium when they should have lost that.
There's something behind the scenes with Saudi, and I think they've got their fingers deep into. I think, isn't it is all alleged, but isn't it true that the holding company that is it Capital Holdings that own Chelsea have a significant investor of the PIF, which is de facto
at the same time
backdoor Saudi.
Chelsea have found every exploit in the book, and they've made it work. So fair play. If it's there to be taken, they've done well.
Over Chelsea's dealings this year, just from sales and buys, for how many players they've brought in and how many players have gone out the door, you would think that the net spend would be massive.
Yeah. They've got a very good academy. They've got a very good academy as well.
9 million is wild.
I think, but the caveat to what you're saying, economically and business-wise, it's clever. They found a way around the rules legally. But for player welfare, would you think that that's right? Are they hoarding them? Like,
I don't know.
The kid from Brighton that's gone to Strasbourg.
Yeah, but I don't think Chelsea quite kill a player like what Man United do.
Or what I have.
That's welfare. And anything is there's almost some sort of toxicness that wears off on people there.
Yeah, I think like Chelsea brought in last year the George.
Yeah.
He came in for a few games when they needed somebody in that position.
Yeah.
And realistically, he's just sold himself for £22 million.
Yeah.
That's what he's done.
But
he's played 5 games.
Is if your career doesn't work at Chelsea,
it's not the end of the world.
No, you can go see somewhere else. No. We've seen it happen multiple times.
I think I agree with that. And you look at they've had some shockers too. Like we all have, but the Fofana one from Leicester. Do you remember when that saga kicked off a few years ago? That was £80 million. I
was hoping that was going to do well for
him.
He's a good player.
When you look at
I think
Chelsea,
that's injuries again though.
It's a tricky one. It's good in terms of economical business sense. My personal opinion, the player welfare side of it is, if I'm a young player, I don't want to go to Chelsea. That's my opinion. Not because of the size of the club.
When you say young player, do you mean a young talent
Esteval
playing football now, or an academy?
I would be thinking academy, maybe up to the age of.
I would do
18.
Chelsea academy.
Would you?
Because it's London Academy, and you look at Brentford don't have an academy for a reason. Because Chelsea are so successful.
There's no point.
If I'm a parent
Chelsea.
and Chelsea want my son, I'm letting him go.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking in a case of, look at Rio Ungamoa and you look at why he's left Chelsea and gone to Liverpool. You look at Mark Gahey is another example. He left Chelsea, he went to Crystal Palace, and these are good players. Granted, of course, if my son wanted to play football and he said, "Dad, I want to go to Chelsea," where do I sign? But we need to understand as well that these players at the top bracket youth players, we're not talking Josh McCracken's, we're talking Mark Gahey's, and we're talking Rio Ungamoa, and the reason why they leave to go to these other clubs is to play week in, week out. But on the transfer window, I think 2 clubs for me had excellent windows. If we're talking Premier League, 2 clubs for me had excellent windows. The first one, Arsenal. I don't buy into this.
I think it's gone under the radar a little
Arsenal,
bit.
I think, has. They've just strengthened.
Absolutely.
They've just strengthened.
Yeah.
That's all they've
But
done.
then they had that, and this is something Arteta doesn't get credit for. He's built a structure there.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like Liverpool, leaders. Like good, solid heads in the changing room. But now, like you said, they've just added things that they've needed. And they've got a striker which, again, he could do it.
He could. I'm hoping that watching him play against Leeds the other day and looking at his stats of goals against the lower league teams in his division.
He does like the lesser teams.
Goal against the bottom team. So granted, he scored 2 goals against Leeds.
Yeah.
We ain't fucking world beaters.
But what I will say,
he's going to probably score goals against
those
us.
goals against the lesser teams are important.
They are important
because people take for granted. Like people,
that's the difference.
His record's crap in finals. Everyone's record's crap in finals.
But
unless you're Didier Drogba.
I get your point, but my argument is minus his 2 goals, they still beat us 3-0.
Yeah.
They haven't beat us 1-0 and he scored the goal.
What I would say, the reason why I believe Arsenal failed to get over the line, this is probably another topic and debate for another day, but my feeling is Arsenal are too emotional. That comes from the manager. I think they're too emotional. They do well against the big 6 clubs. They do well against them. I think up until the loss the other week against Liverpool, they had gone X amount of games, like 22 games or something against top 6 times. They fall over at Bournemouth at home. They fall over by drawing at Leicester away, or just as a
Bournemouth at home is not that same fixture
there.
anymore. They're
a good team.
They're
if we bounce from Bournemouth, going back to the transfers,
but we know what I mean.
We are about to see Bournemouth struggle, I believe, after their
really.
Have you seen that? They've lost their back six in the transfer.
The left back's good. They've brought in
one good player, isn't it? Senese's back from his injury. I just see that.
But then he was there last season.
He was injured. He was out for a long time.
But like, would he have got in? He wouldn't have got into that line.
He would have got into that.
No.
Do you want to know what the difference is between Bournemouth and the other clubs around them, like let's say Sunderland and let's say Leeds? Their front line, Bournemouth, there's goals. They just blast their way out of it. But you're right. If they don't score, is the midfield
strong
good enough? I think it does look wafer thin. But then no European football. Damn good manager.
They've just lost Sinisterra back to. He's gone back to Brazil for apparently some family reasons, but obviously he signed for a club while he's there. I don't know how true that is. These are just the rumours because it was all a bit random.
Yeah, it was a bit
random. Disappeared.
So back to Arsenal, like real quick, just with Arsenal, I think, they've had they brought in the striker, which they think was clearly the missing piece in the jigsaw for them to go to the next level. They've brought in Noni Madueke, who's playing for England now. He's in the England squad a lot of the time. They've brought in Eberechi Eze, another England international. I mean, they've got, 3 England wingers there at the moment now.
Why did Eze not get more minutes against Liverpool? Did anyone else think that was weird when Martinelli was throwing out stinkers that whole game?
Yeah, because I think it's an emotional thing. I think the manager is an emotional.
But he was fit. He was up and running. He's played football.
Of course, he's
got a good record against Liverpool. It's not bad.
Great record against Liverpool.
Why not chuck him in?
Because I think he's a drama manager. I think what he does, like we would, you start Eze on the left, clear. Yeah, everybody knows, not hard. But what he does,
I don't think start.
I'm going to bring him trying to be woke.
I'm going to bring
maybe.
I'm going to be cool. I'm going to bring him on in the 75th minute for aura.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When he comes out. So look what we've got. This shining. Start him on the left wing. You've got Dominic Szoboszlai, who isn't a right back, by the way. Okay, Eberechi Eze in the last 8 months, I think, has gone up another level. I think he's been brilliant for England as well. He was.
Do you know one thing I fucking love about Prem football at the moment is seeing transitions of players playing different positions.
Yeah.
Like watching Joel Linton,
just about
terrible striker.
How he's gone from that
to what he does in midfield. Like they're Premier League football players. They're capable of doing another position.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
think at that level, I think when you're young, it's weird that you pick a position as a youngster playing maybe not at that high level. You would go, I'm a midfielder or I'm a centre back.
And I understand you've got attributes and you know how the game flows with your position.
Yeah.
But you've got ability.
But if you look back at some of the stories of some of these top level pros,
a
lot of them at their youth levels don't even play in the position.
Like Wan-Bissaka at Crystal Palace, he was a right winger. Failed right winger. Wicked right back. And made a career from it.
And he's now playing Premier League.
Yeah, he made a career from it.
I'll talk about United in a minute because I've got a really good, interesting one that we had a debate in our group chat that we're in the other week with Brian about United, and I'll text you about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It was a real good point, actually. It's interesting you've brought him up. Just to clarify with Arsenal, before we move on to the other club that I think has had a good window, Hinsapi coming in from Bayer Leverkusen. I've spoke for at least a year to 18 months about this player. I wanted Liverpool to sign him as that second left centre-back. That's a wonderful, wonderful signing. They got rid of Kivior, 24 million. They've brought this guy in with a loan available to buy, whatever. How would you score Arsenal's transfer window out of 10? Because I'm giving it an 8 because I think they've done the right things with the squad.
They've learnt from their last 2 years. They've gone, what do we need? Let's just go and get it.
Yeah.
The Eze deal, I think should have been done.
I don't think they had to do a lot to that squad.
No, but I think they've looked at what they...
Yeah.
Realistically, if they wanted to win titles, they need to bolster their squad. They obviously still want to be positionings in the Champions League.
They saw how much Saka's injury hurt them last year as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Then they know full well if last year and the year before, 1 or 2 injuries, that was it. Yeah. How much football did Saka miss last year?
When you look at their depth, actually, really thinking about it,
it's good.
To have Noni as a backup to Saka,
yeah.
Well, they've got Trossard as a backup to Eze, we haven't even mentioned Martinelli, and we haven't mentioned Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus as backups to Guy Corres. And then let's look into the central midfield. You got Rice,
Gabby Jesus is not a squad player for them anymore. He's not even made it to their Champions League squad,
and I doubt he'll end up playing in the
which is a shame.
The FA Cup, which is he's had a great career.
He is what
Nketiah
Nketiah was for them before he
Would you then say, and Nwaneri and Dolman, but and arguably you could talk about Lewis Skelling, Calafiori at left back, and the new centre backs have brought in.
They have depth.
They have
Serious depth.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about the other club in a minute, but I'm going to give them a Stanchion score. A L'Equipe harsh style scoring system. I would give them a solid 8, 8.5.
I'm happy with it.
I'm high as an 8, 8.5.
Yeah, and then the other club, obviously, my club, Liverpool. I think that 6, I think, of the title-winning starting 11 has been jettisoned and replaced. And I think that a lot of people coming out saying, well, you're overwhelming favourites. You must be winning the league. Of course, I'm going to defend the situation because I think that actually there's something in football called chemistry. And I think that chemistry, whereas this Arsenal team have brought in 1 or 2 to start and they've bolstered the rest of the squad, these boys have been together. The chemistry, right?
It's going to be tested now.
Yeah. I just think emotionally they're not
I think this
good
is the first time that Liverpool under Slot is going to be tested.
Yeah.
The teams, like you said, gelling together. It's all good when like training every week, but now we're going to see it. And I'm not just saying this, but I've watched the first 3 games of Liverpool, and I haven't been overwhelmed. Some of the they're winning games, which is sign of champions.
United, mate, of the
win games, sign of champions.
It
But
reminds
what I
me
will
of United.
say is you've still got your spine. You've still got that main structure of your team.
Yeah.
So, chemistry's important, but you've got a few flair players. You've got forwards mainly.
Yeah.
If it was replacing a Van Dijk, I think getting Van Dijk on a new contract.
That's a new signing.
Is a new signing. That's a big signing.
It's a needed signing.
I think the Gahey one that should be revisited.
I
in
think
January
that
is very
could
important.
hurt you because now it's Joe Gomez.
Leone.
Yeah.
See, I'd throw him in.
I
I'd go play.
I think when we look at the situation, Tsimikas is now gone, so Liverpool got 2 left backs, Robertson and Kerkez. Fine.
That's fine, yeah.
You've got 2 right backs, Frimpong and Bradley. Fine,
Brilliant.
2 different styles.
Yeah.
Centre backs, you've got Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, Leone. It's that underbelly which worries me a tad. The 2 goalkeepers, no problem. Alisson and Mamadashvili.
Yeah, that's
no
ridiculous.
issue. And then the 4 or 5 in midfield are Florian Wirtz, Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, Wataru Endo, and Stefan Bajcetic is deep. That's deeper than Ron Jeremy in the 70s. Yeah, that's deep. And I think that the forward line on the left, you've obviously got Cody Gakpo supplemented by the youngster Rio Ungamoa. On the right, you've got Mo Salah and Federico Chiesa, and the front 2 to fight.
I don't think Rio's your depth at the moment.
I think
let him develop.
Yeah, we need to not.
Well, let's say Ekitike then.
Let's not
So
get
you say
too excited.
Ekitike is going to float, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to go from side
But
to
what I'm
side.
saying
Gakpo
is
goes
if you
from
really...
side to side.
I know you needed the goal against Newcastle. It's the wrong way to look at it, but he's not depth in that squad. He is...
What happened there?
He's a fight. You have 5-10 minutes.
What's happened there is exactly the same. I
Yeah.
believe that what's happened there with Rio is exactly the same situation as what happened many moons ago with Makeda. That is what's happened.
That's harsh.
No, not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I say as in
Right.
goal
The impact.
at the time.
Yeah.
very
It's a-
important
yeah.
from a young player, and then we just need to hope that Rio doesn't do the same projectile
Yeah.
as him.
Makeda.
If he can stay grounded and Liverpool can be smart with him,
Yeah.
I think we've got some player.
Harvey Elliott was kind of similar.
This is where we go back to this transfer. That move to Villa is massive.
Massive, yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
I like him.
He didn't have the pace of a Rio Ungamoa. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's basically like Florian Wirtz, but he's not Florian Wirtz, is he? He's not. And I think that ultimately he couldn't really get games. Slot don't fancy him, clearly. But where he's played for England and where he's played for the 21s, he's done remarkably well. But in terms of this Liverpool, we need to talk very quickly as time starts to tick already on this show. It's going to be... I'm absolutely stoked that we're doing this because already the conversation's getting deep, and I think that we can't touch on the Liverpool transfer spending, the market, the net spend, blah blah, without mentioning Alexander Isak before we score it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? What's your view on that?
I think he's still going to tear. The only thing I worry is Ekitike's probably been too good to drop.
Yeah.
So
he has to start on the bench.
But we always knew that was going to be the case because he's not played football. That's easy.
If Ekitike doesn't come in, he goes straight into that starting lineup and is strong. Ekitike has now fallen in a position where I genuinely believe he was bought because Liverpool were worried that they weren't going to get their man.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they thought 100% they were getting him,
they're
they
going
wouldn't
for a
have
lesser
purchased him.
striker.
They wouldn't have purchased him.
I agree with that, but I think
it's good for Liverpool.
The argument is
you're not going to go.
Ekitike is Ekitike and Isak fighting for that striker position. But I think it's Cody Gakpo that's going to shit. Like he's going to lose out.
He is. And it's unfortunate because
one of them, they're both capable of playing on that left hand side. We haven't seen much of it, but they can both do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will happen.
But look at Gakpo's season last year.
But look at Arsenal.
4-4-2.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's go, old.
As a fan, there's two factors at play here. Okay, first of all, we talked about Arsenal. We talked about Eze, Martinelli, Trossard on the left. Okay, we got Gakpo and Ekitike. You know, you talk about on the right, Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Dolman. When you look at Liverpool, you've got Salah and you've got Chiesa. The second factor at play here is Mo Salah is now nearly 34 years old. When he eventually moves on, you could see, like you just said, it's really interesting. You say the 4-4-2. As most Newcastle fans did say a month ago that you would have.
That's what they wanted.
That's what they want.
And I think
they wanted the Ekitike Isak 4-4-2 is what Newcastle fans
in the 90s, 4-4-2 worked brilliant. And it does work fine.
Nobody does two strikers anymore.
Nobody.
No.
All this system football that we know now? Go at it with two fucking strikers and see how it does against
Liverpool.
Slot's very good at changing anyway.
Imagine if Liverpool are the first team of, like, let's say the 2000s to go, fuck it, boys. We're bringing back 4-4-2.
Fuck it, 4-4-2.
We're fucking bringing it back.
Just dish it out to the right.
He's going to
bend it around into the channel,
and everyone's going to know.
He's
going to
ring up Esky and he's going to go. He's going to go. Got any pointers there?
Yeah.
Old Michael Owen's going to be on the blower.
No, you know,
fucking Crouchy and Jermaine Defoe back up top.
It'll be the most boring conversation between Slot and Owen.
He got the ball across into the goal. You know, that was an awful Michael Owen thing. But let's go very quickly now to score it before we just briefly touch on Moneybag City, out of the big boys, and maybe even touch on Spurs too. Let's be brutally honest. What are we going to... As a fan, I don't think it's right that I score it because I'm going to be biased. I can't help it. Remember, think L'Équipe and the harsh scoring.
So I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah.
I was going to...
Purely
because of the
Gehi? No, purely based on the money spent.
Okay.
I believe that...
Broke the transfers twice over one window.
And I do genuinely believe, like I said just then, it is because they were very unsure whether they were genuinely getting their man.
Yeah.
I think if they didn't get Ekitike and Isak came in early and it was set in stone early, I do genuinely believe that maybe the Gehi might have got over.
Yeah.
They're trying to deal with two big transfers, the transfer deadline day at the same time. I think if that Isak comes in early, that Gehi gets over the fucking... It comes in, and it comes in earlier.
I do not think, though, that with Isak, just to briefly touch on it, so I do a lot of research, listening to podcasts such as The Athletic and talking, listening to Liverpool journalists deep in the network web of what's really going on in the corridors of Anfield. That £110 million bid was tactical. That was deliberate. Newcastle were not willing to play ball for anything less than £150 million, okay? They've gone in with 110. They've walked away with 125. I think, personally, that was very tactical from Liverpool and Richard Hughes. He's very astute in his business. You needed a left-back. You're bringing Kerkez. You need a right-back. You're bringing Frinkle.
I don't like it.
I don't like it, mate. But ultimately, when the window's closed, he's in the door.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how they get there, but that's football, and that's why we love these debates. But in terms of Liverpool, so you're going to score it, did you say a 7.5?
I'm going 7. I'm going 7. You said harsh. I'm going 7.
To be honest, I'd say 6.5.
They've done...
Unless you got Gehi. If Gehi come in... All right, Verts, I absolutely love the signing. Isak, quality, but I just don't feel... you need another centre-back for me.
I think...
don't get me wrong.
I think it will come in
Konate and Van Dijk are more than capable, but if one of them goes...
Konate is susceptible to an injury.
They're both... we've seen both. I know Van Dijk's only has serious injuries, but it could happen. And then what? That really hurts you.
I think they go back in January and they get in for cheap.
Yeah. But I don't... That's not down to you. That's down to Palace all of a sudden shitting themselves that they're going to lose a really good manager.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that as well.
I think that could hurt hurt you. If an injury happened now, like you said, come January, you're ready for it. But up till then, it could really hurt you.
So we've talked about Chelsea. We've talked about Chelsea briefly. We've talked about Arsenal. We've talked about obviously Liverpool. We do need to briefly touch on the goings on at the Etihad and also Tottenham. Now, at the time of recording, we've had 3 games in the Premier League. Yep. We're at an international break at the moment. Let's talk about Manchester City because their start has been severely underwhelming. And now there's a Manchester derby, which I've got a sneaky suspicion United are going to do something United-ish, you know?
We've seen it happen. Like Spurs, Man City, we see it happen.
It's happened many a time. So I think Man City...
Signings?
They did their signings last year. Yeah. If you look at what they brought in January, they've gone, right, if we bring them in now... We've then got the end of the season, a whole pre-season / Club World Cup. Who's going to come in and we can get them moulded, ready straight away. Yeah. Watching them in the first couple of games, I thought they've done all right. I think the signings they brought in are fine. Reinders to me could be, we'll touch on it later, but one of the best signings we've seen in this window.
I think everybody's, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great player. But everyone's got so overhyped because of that Wolves game for me. If you watch the 2 performances after,
he's done team though, big boy.
And he's also in mine.
Because as a box-to-box midfielder, he did double figures in the Serie A for goals last season. So you know what you're coming, but I don't want to overhype him to be like. I think Cherky for the money they paid is an unbelievable.
So why is he not playing?
He's injured.
I think their number one
it is an
player
injury.
was
Also,
January, mate, and that's Marmoush. I think he's terrific.
To get him,
he's stunning, great player.
And this is another reason why I'm going to dent Ekitike. He's been phenomenal since he joined.
Go on. Yeah.
But they got Marmoush cheaper in January.
Yeah.
That's really good business for me.
And he is the sort of player I think that City have been missing.
Well, he's the head.
Do you know what I really like about Marmoush? And it's a weird one. Like this is just watching football. Some players generate power from nothing.
Yeah.
Cunha, he can hit a ball from anywhere and it's hit.
Adriano.
It's hit. Marmoush, he's not built, but he can hit a ball. Yamal, like, you're so young, you're not built. He can whack a ball. And he's got that about him, like with accuracy. Like
There's a guy called Thomas Hitzelsberger who used to play for Aston Villa. Actually met him at the Euros final before we went in there, and he hoped England would win. I'll post a picture online if you want to see it. Probably not. But he had one of the most hardest shots in football, and he was slight of figure as well. And I think that Marmoush, he goes to the same hairstylist as maybe Marquinhos at PSG. Again, another random side note. But what we will say, I'm going to watch this back later. It's a bit dodgy observation. But what we will say was Manchester City's business. Kuznetsov, I'm not having him. You're a defender. What's your take on him? The Kazakh. Was it
give
Becky? Where's he from?
Give him a chance.
Give him a chance. I've watched him in about 8 games.
He ain't no Diaz, mate.
Yeah, but then Diaz has been dropped. Like, who are we to question Pep?
I'm not. The one thing I will say is
Man City don't do bad business.
When Stones went to City, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Unbelievable.
Stones has been one of the best centre-halves for City in a long time, apart from your club.
They've let Akanji go.
Yeah.
If he's that bad, they can get rid of him. Like, Ake, unbelievable. Like, they've got so many good defenders. Pep just loves to fuck about with his team. But that's part of his system. That is part of his system.
So, in terms of Manchester City, we'll talk about transfer spending in a moment. Obviously, Man City, L'Equipe score. We need to judge them on the summer transfer window to make it fair for our scoring. So
if we're going just based off the summer,
it's been the goalie situation. They've just brought in Donnarumma, but he doesn't play with his feet. He's a great shot. I saw him at Anfield last season.
I'm sure he's probably more capable to playing with his feet than.
I'm very, very.
Trafford, though, if I'm his agent, I'm absolutely raging.
But I think deep down, I know you can see what's going on with Edison there. There was a better keeper there. Second choice keeper than what Trafford was.
Ortega's
that's what I mean. He's a first choice keeper. So Trafford knew what he's coming into.
If I'm being selfish, like we said, it's an international break now. If I'm being selfish,
where would you have gone? If you're Trafford's agent and you want him to play football at a high level,
I would have gone to Man United. I would have went to Man United. Yeah.
Do you know how much pressure that is?
Of course he is.
On your player. If I'm an agent, I'm not letting one of my players go to Man United.
I understand that, but there's going to be a point now. I think let's go to Man United, and
it's got to turn around.
You throw enough darts. Yeah. At some point, you're going to get a fucking 180.
But the felt on the dartboard has been like
butchered.
Yeah. But now that felt has been taken. It's open heart surgery, as Ranić said. They've took off the metal frame of the dartboard. They've pulled off the felt. Rashford, Anthony, these guys, Sancho, they're out the door. Yeah, there's new felt going on now, and I think that there's no European football, in my opinion. There's one less cup competition that's gone already. I think that ultimately now, I think he's the wrong manager. Okay, but before we go to it, let's score Man City's. I think that's just a solid. If you're going to score Liverpool 6.5,
they're low. It's low.
It's low.
Everyone's going to see.
Would you say a 4.5?
I'd just say a solid 4.
Solid 4 for Man City.
I'm going to say a 6.
I knew you'd say it.
He's gone high.
I just cannot fault. I know last season was crap for them.
Yeah.
And we're 3 games in, so we're gonna put our cards on the table early.
I think
you cannot fault.
We'll be looking back.
You cannot fault. In my eyes, you cannot fault Man City's business, especially with Pep Guardiola there.
And Pep Linders.
So
I hope he's incognito. I'm praying he's incognito.
One thing, adding to Man City, one thing I'm sad about is Ilkay leaving.
Ilkay came and went.
But he's a bit of a legend in my eyes. I've really appreciate. He's for me a bit like what Sonny was at Spurs. Like somebody I've just loved watching.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
He's a good player. He was always that sort.
He's a good servant to football.
Him and De Bruyne in that middle were kind of set in stone.
But then, is it easy to play alongside somebody like that?
I don't know. I think when you've got that sort of, if those two boys played together for a long time, the wavelengths for them would have been unreal. The chemistry would have been there.
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva chipping in and around as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
back to that Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's the chemistry.
It's going to be key. It seems like they've going to have it, and Liverpool going to do the
difference is
Man City looks a bit of a dog as well, Mike.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he suits them.
The difference is with City and Arsenal. The big difference for me is the emotional.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think
if they keep it under straps.
Professionalism.
I think Arteta's got a little bit of like the Bruno Fernandes. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? But going back to Man United, Bruno Fernandes. For those listeners that are watching, they've gone from. Fucking Champions
Burnley.
Leagues.
End of that Burnley game.
Dalot, he's knocking him, and he knocks into the player.
Oh, it's
the
pathetic.
player gives him a little nudge back, and he turns around to say,
"What? In his face.
Me?
I'm sorry.
Me? Who do you think you are?
You got to remember, this is against everybody's favourite to go down, bottom.
Bottom.
You can't.
Points.
I know it's emotional. You've won the game, but. You're at home to the worst team.
He was slid on his knees to the corner flag. You could see the veins popping out of his neck.
But I think that's a bit of a relief for him as well after missing his last penalty as well.
He's had a bit of a torrid.
It's relief. Well, look, I think he stopped the hop and skip and a jump now. Yeah, okay.
Why?
But why? Because he knows if he misses, mate, the knives are sharp. Yeah, the knives are salivating.
But why change? Why change when things work? They work.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
His record's not that good.
He down tools at Anfield. He down tools more than Bob the Builder.
Oh, you can't.
He was a disgrace that day.
I'm happy to take the piss out of him. But
at least Martin
down in tools, for me, he is one of the hardest working players I've seen in the Prem.
I think he's very. I'm going to agree to disagree with you.
Well, you reckon he looks busy?
Yeah,
I think he
looks busy. Does. I think he's losing his hair.
Yeah. I know a few of them on the tarmac.
He's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he's a creative midfielder that will drop in that deep.
Yeah.
Just because he wants the ball. He's a busy.
There's one for you, mate. There's a reason why Jurgen Klopp opted against signing him when we had the chance to sign him.
That's almost
mentality.
Like. That's almost like when. Blackburn turned down Zidane. Fucking Lewandowski was supposed to go out.
No, the best one on the side note, Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
And it was either Sheffield United. Yeah, I'm sure it was Sheffield United. Diego Maradona was turned down for a trial by Sheffield United. But Man United very quickly. Ruben Amorim, we saw him rocking uncontrollably in the dugout.
Poor fucker.
If you're Sesko, you're at Grimsby Town's ground. It's cold. It's hammering down with Ren. You're in a penalty shootout. His hair looks like it was, the gel was trickling to the underlayers of his eyelids. It's stinging. He don't like it. He's looking around. He's looking around for support. You're looking for a manager that's going to be on the sideline that's going, come on, mate, come on, keep your fucking head. Let's go. He turns around. All Amorim was missing was a bloody straitjacket, mate. Because he was sat there like he was on Ritalin. Yeah, this guy was sat there as if he was uncontrollably, as if there's a bloke that's going to beat him up out the back if he didn't win, And
but you got to remember, after losing that game, you say there's people waiting to beat him. You imagine the fucking pelters he gets. Man. Walking, you can't go out with your family.
Because he won't change his formation.
It's almost like being a striker, a Brazil striker, and doing badly. Yeah. You get pelters, mate.
Well, I think he's his own worst enemy. Anybody knows that the best coaches are pragmatical in their approach and their tactical astuteness by changing things
like we said,
up.
Throw enough darts, one day you let it 180.
He's
all of a sudden,
his arrogance is going to kill him. I think.
It's not all of a sudden, but all of a sudden, somebody will come in and they'll do well at Man United, and everyone will be like, "That's what we needed."
I think his name's Oliver Glasner. But
there's no reason why Amorim couldn't succeed. Do you know what I mean?
There's a reason why. Again, he was rejected by West Ham and LFC.
Fulham.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story really, really quickly, and it's interesting. The listeners may appreciate listening to this as well. Let's talk about Ruben Amorim. Okay, so obviously ex-player back in the day, good player as well, central midfielder. I think he was. Obviously,
good.
Goes around. Okay, all right. Okay, let's
at the high level. He's still playing Champions League football.
Okay,
he's still playing
compared to the football that we play. Fair enough.
Portugal international.
Whatever you consider good, let's say.
Okay, let's say he's rung 3 out of 10 of the professional ladder. He's known but not barking up the tree. He's more scuffing around the bottom. But what we will say is he built a great team at Sporting Lisbon. He's done really well there.
Struggling at the time.
Ugarte, etc.
He took over.
A 37-year-old Sebastian Coates at the back doing really well for them. Liverpool. Klopp announced he's leaving. He held talks with Liverpool, and the reason why he was rejected at Anfield was because of his tactical unwillingness to change. And I'll just finish the point before I forget it. His tactic is brilliant when you've got the right players. Yeah. That's clear. The reason why Liverpool rejected it was simple. We could not afford 2 factors. Money. Okay, which is ironic at the time because but then again we never spent for a couple of years. Everybody who knows football with a brain cell knows how that's been.
Your piggy bank was fucking overspilling at the time.
Of course, but the reality is we didn't have the players to implement his tactical master plan, which brings him to United in a minute, and why I think everything above is just a mess. And then he holds talks to West Ham. West Ham come out of the deal, and you've got to think very, very clearly now. Why have they gone out of the deal? That's unusual. Fulham. I don't know the ins and outs of that. If there was talks.
Apparently, Fulham pulled out. I don't know.
Why they don't want to get this guy pregnant? Yeah, football wise. Yeah, but ultimately, having said this, he then turns up at Manchester United, and we're seeing it. Okay, we're seeing why these clubs pulled out, because he's got his system. When you've got the right players, the system works. Now, left wing back, right wing back. Okay, Manchester United have shot themselves in the foot. There's a player for Real Madrid at left wing back at the moment. Corrales, I think his name is. He come from Benfica. He was at Man United. He went to Benfica on loan. He then goes there full time. Excellent left wing back. Now he's gone to Real Madrid. He's playing every week. Yeah. You look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. This is the point that we're talking about earlier.
Wan-Bissaka wouldn't suit Man United right now, though. But he doesn't suit that system.
In that system,
at the time, at that system.
Yeah, maybe. But no, he's got Wan-Bissaka is good at tackling. That's what he's good at. Good at defending.
Yeah.
Every time he shits himself as soon
goes forward. Yeah.
He don't know what to do with it.
I would say rather than so you think he's a traditional right back, whereas I think he's a right wing back.
Nah, not for me.
But you're entitled to. But going back to Amorim, where he's going wrong here is very, very simple. He's not willing to change. Phil Jones the other day. Good young English centre-back at the time. His career stagnated due to injury and funny faces he was pulling while putting his head in wrong places, okay, where it hurts, okay? Everybody knows the meme. But he said the other day, the first thing he said in post-comms at the end of the match in Grimsby, he stood there, he's in shock, okay? You've got, who's the other guy next to Joby McAnuff maybe was there as well? And he was turning around and he was saying he won't change the system. He won't change the system. You've not got the
kill him.
players to implement your system. Change the fucking system.
Yeah, it's not easy to do that as a manager though, because that's your identity. And then
But if it's not working under that pressure, buddy,
but then
you've got to change
what could he get to work? I don't know.
4-4-2.
Yeah.
Go back to
I think that you've got respectfully, you've got Delo, okay,
Yeah.
right back, okay,
There you go.
cool.
Yeah.
You got Dorgu. Stop this left.
Shaw playing as centre back.
Get Shaw at left back.
Yeah.
You get Maguire in the
Centre
middle
back.
there, and then who's the other one? Johnny Evans?
Heaven,
is he
maybe
gone?
you could play in there.
Oh, it's hell. I don't think he's as good. Now, let's be brutally honest. You go through to that midfield, it's strong. And in a 4-4-2, Mainu, Fernandes, Ugarte can do well.
This, for me, Man United
Ridiculous.
fans crying out at their midfield every week. Our midfield's not good enough.
The midfield's great.
Your midfield
The midfield's
is
great.
on
Is that
six. No.
midfield's great?
Your midfield is.
Casemiro?
Oh, yeah.
Your midfield
I would.
is on
Maybe,
600k a week. Those two midfielders combined, 600k a week, and they're not good enough.
Yeah, but that's money over talent.
when
we all know players that go.
When you're saying our midfield's not good enough, you're paying them an entire squad's fucking wages.
If they don't want Casemiro, they had the opportunity, not last season, the season before, when he capitulated against Liverpool, and he said,
Is
Carragher came out.
Casemiro? I know. Yeah, we've all seen him throw stinkers. He can't be the problem. We've watched him win
He's not the
fucking
problem.
Champions
He's
League
not the problem.
endless amounts of time.
But he was 28, 29. I think you turn it up at the
old.
Premier
No,
League.
he joined Man United when he was younger than everybody thought.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's 29 now.
No, I don't think he's just not ready for it now. He just can't
I
do it
think if
anymore.
I'm his
You think he
agent-
just picked up that
just think
fucking...
that's just done.
getting a
He's just
paycheck,
done.
mate.
Yeah.
He's getting a paycheck. And do you know what? If I was his agent, I'd encourage him to sign an extension.
Nah,
But-
all joking aside, you don't do that as a pro. You want to make Man United
Officially, you leave.
Man United.
And if you're him, I
Do you know
would
what I
be
mean?
considering going to Serie A, rock up at AC Milan, do a couple of years in the beautiful San Siro,
Yeah.
and tick that off, and then retire down at Corinth.
But we all know for a fact, if he'd have left Man United now, he would have never succeeded anywhere else.
Here's the red herring.
You never
I
know.
don't.
Manuel
It happens
one of those
all the
you
time.
never
That's
know.
the red herring. Manuel Ugarte. We're talking about Sporting Lisbon, and we're talking about hammering, building his dynasty there. There's his central midfielder.
Bearing in mind,
He went a
Amorim
year earlier as well.
Yeah,
Amorim created
kind of
him.
wanted it.
He sold him to PSG for all that money, but way back
Yeah.
when. So Amorim knows him inside out.
knows him.
But
He knows what he's
he's not
doing.
been good. Every time he's come on,
he
he's looked crap.
So to summarise, obviously United, they brought in Mbuemo, good signing. They brought in
Yeah.
Cunha, great signing. They brought in Benjamin Sesko. I think it's a year early, but ultimately it should be
gonna
a
be a
good
good
signing.
signing, yeah.
But I don't think
From what we've
it's
seen,
under
it looks
pressure,
bad, but it'll be a good sign.
I think it could be another Hoyland if
Yeah.
things don't change. But so we're going to score Man United's window. I would actually score that. I would. I can't get this 6.5 out my head, and it's now determining where I score United. I think Liverpool have had a way better window than them. Lemons, the goalie as well.
I want to say Liverpool have had a good window, but a complete window. It's not for me because I think you needed a defender.
I think
and you didn't get it. When Arsenal for me got everybody they needed to get.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from the signings you made. Liverpool made good signings, but 6.5 for me.
You also got to
because
base
you're
it.
That's a
that
L'Equipe
defender.
score, no doubt.
You also got to base it off of levels. We're talking levels now. So
Yeah.
Liverpool, based on the level of Liverpool, have had a good
Yeah.
good signing. Man United, based on where they are now as Man United,
then you have to score
levels,
them as
it's
a
high.
6 or a 7,
I'd
all
say
right, because,
it's
of
what
the
they've
window
done.
they've had.
If you're looking at them as a club last year, finishing just above relegation, literally one game away. If they didn't get to that final,
Yeah, but
it's probably one of the worst.
But we're
seasons.
talking Man United. They're a fucking walking finance. Like they're never going to. Yeah, they finished 15th, but they're not like a fucking Bournemouth finishing 15th.
I'll tell you what
they
hurt them.
still have a lot of money. To like look at the wages.
And then
they're
when you've
throwing
got,
at
that's what I mean.
players.
You've then got to say that those three
So-
signings are good signings.
Yeah.
They've done good business.
Yeah, they have. They've
They
signed
have
good
done
players,
business,
but
and they've had a few players out the door,
Yeah.
which they didn't want. Some big players off of the wage bill that they didn't want. So in theory,
Villa picking up 80% of Sancho's wages is mental. By the way.
Correct, and I think there's a stipulation attached to that as well on competition. If they do well in a certain competition,
Yeah,
it then
they
goes
get
up to
past
100%.
I don't want Villa fans crying about FFP anymore when your club are picking up 80% of his wages.
It's desperation
when
stuff, maybe.
you pay him half of that, he's still overpaid for what he's done over the last couple of years.
Look at a team of similar sort of level.
That was
would be
desperate from
Tottenham.
Villa.
And you look at how Tottenham have conducted their business, and you look at how you look at Villa. There's Tottenham have had a good
Speaking
window.
of Spurs, and everybody saying they were playing 4G chess with Xavi Simons, who, by the way, great signing. At his
I
age,
think it was just an opportunistic signing.
do you think they had Arsenal's pants down with them getting Eze? Because I think I'd rather have Eze right now.
If you look at all the signings that Tottenham were trying to make or were going to make, and they all went elsewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you just said, were they playing the 4D chess? Did they genuinely just want him in,
I think
in the
sorry
style?
to interject you, I apologise. And I think that ultimately injuries have determined Tottenham's business. Look at Maddison, look at Solanke and the two deals that they've got. You know, Koala Moane on 50-50. That's obviously could be one of the signings of the season if it goes right, or you could be looking at another tell. Yeah,
I think Koala Moane
out of the Champions League squad, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's already dented his career.
Before Thomas the Frank Engine went in there, the players like your Archie Grays, who weren't going to play, he's come in. They are now playing, which to me, they don't need to now make signings for those positions. They've got two young centre midfielders.
I think Archie Gray, he deserves to be playing in that midfield. But then again,
he's rotted in
Sarr for me is levels above him.
Well, Basuma's leaving, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
They'll jettison him like fuel from a NASA rocket. I think in terms of just quickly then, we'll quickly score Spurs' transfer window. I think it's been good. I think really good. They've brought in 4 for Palhinha. Great signing.
Palhinha's a great signing.
I think they've had on the down low, coupled with an easy start to the Premier League.
They've had a good start.
I think they'll do well this season. I think, which I'll allude on in a bit, I think I'm going to score Tottenham a 7.
Yeah, I'd say high.
They've had a really good window.
If they've gone under the radar, they haven't signed some of the players that they wanted to, but the ones that they have got through
I don't think I'd go as high as a 7.
What were you going to go?
I'd say 6. Nah, 6.
For those Tottenham fans that are listening, they know that I want to score them a 3.2, but I can't, and you have to be realistic. So just transfer spending before we wrap it up and we go into our season predictions, and it ties up pretty much towards the end of the first segment on the show we've ever done. Real good, open, honest, pragmatic discussion on the transfer window. We're going to look at some transfer spending since 2016-17, a graphic which we've got up here. I think my friend Brian messaged me on TikTok earlier saying, why is it only from 2016-17? There's a conspiracy from Sky Sports against Manchester United. But when you're looking at it, you're going to look now, the number 1 club for spending since 2016-17 with 1.7 billion Great British pounds spent, and it's got the net spend as well. Let's go net spend then, why not? They're still top. 1.3 billion pounds in 9 years is ridiculous. Chelsea, 1.1 billion, but you're also going to be looking that they're bringing in money. So they've spent 2.5 billion buying Chelsea, 2.5 billion hoarding, but with a plan. Arsenal in third. You know, he needs to win a trophy, mind. At some point, I'm telling you, he needs to win a trophy, mate.
One way I look at this is look at squad values at the moment. It's embarrassing for Man United because their value is pish. That squad is worth nothing. Chelsea have still got value in their team.
Like I said to you earlier on, the Chelsea's this year alone, their net spend's 9 million.
Yeah,
it's so smart.
Yeah,
they've got some big names out the door.
Even that entire, you look at that entire squad, it's still worth a lot of money.
Worth a lot of money. They can sell youngsters. They sold George for 23 million pounds. He's played 8 Premier League games.
But here's one for you.
That's so much money for a player that's not played football.
So Arsenal 1.4 billion spent, Tottenham 1.2 billion spent, and you look at the difference in where those two teams are. I think Arsenal are 4 or 5. Well, they're on step 8 now, so I think they're at least a few steps ahead. Man City 1.7 billion, really good at selling players as well. Actually, Man City I find are really good, and then West Ham 1 billion spent. West Ham has spent £1 billion in 9 years.
You got to remember
that's wild.
Last transfer window, West Ham was everybody's winner for the transfer window with the signings they made, but it just didn't work.
They spent Somerville a lot of money. For like 30.
That's what I mean. They spent a lot of money.
Always spent a bit, Mike. When the Icelandic Eggman was in charge in like 2006-7, they brought in Carlos Tevez and Mascherano.
Yeah, that was under Pardew. Yeah, that something dodgy was going on.
Yeah, it was. His name was Korea Chaprigian or whatever he was. And I think because his sports network owned 50% of the players, and I think that's still going on in Brazil today.
He sounds like a flavour of Pringle.
Correct. correct.
Delicious.
His haircut was brilliant back in the day. I might get a picture of that up for the people. A flavoured Pringle in charge of Carlos Tevez and Javier Mascherano, which Liverpool, we got him for 20 million and United then got Tevez. I think obviously then Liverpool in 7th place, 1.4 billion spent, and then Newcastle at 950, and then you go down Forest, Everton, Villa, etc., etc. In terms of the transfer window and transfer spend, that concludes that particular part. Luke, do you want to take us away on the next segment of what we've got for the show?
Right then, guys, moving on. I want to know everybody's bottom 3 for this season. We've all got our list in front of us, so there's no change in this now.
I've gone down.
So
I'll go first because everybody will look at me in my Leeds United shirt.
You should be an expert.
You should
have deep dived into this.
Deep dive.
What are our chances?
But I'm going to stick my neck out there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say we ain't going down. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, you're a Leeds United fan, you don't think you're going down. I genuinely believe this year there's going to be 3, even maybe 4 or 5 worse teams than us in the Premier League. I think right now, West Ham are in the mud.
Bottom. Start bottom.
So bottom. Burnley.
Okay.
They go down with 0 points, which isn't going to happen. But I just don't believe they've got enough power in the Premier League to stay up. They haven't got enough... I don't know, what's the word? The grit.
Yo-yo, mate.
The grit. They haven't got that Premier League grit, which is...
Kyle Walker is Premier League grit. But
what I've seen of him in Burnley, he might as well just be back at AC Milan chilling in the cocktail bars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Second from bottom. This one was tough, but I am going to go with West Ham. I do genuinely think that West Ham are in the mud.
You're getting pelters.
I don't care. I'll get the pelters.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that West Ham
bold.
are in the
I like it. I'm going that's bold.
Don't discount that win away at Forest Mind. That's a
big win.
Yeah, everybody bearing in mind we're 3 games in. When we've done our predictions 3 games in. So we've got a bit of an insight.
And my next one, and I'm probably going to get pelters for this as well, it was Brentford.
No, I don't think that's
I
anything
think
wrong with
Brentford could be...
Well, you're not backing a set-piece coach as a manager?
I'm backing the set-piece coach as a manager. I'm not backing the fact that they've lost their 2 best players who have delivered double figures in goals and assists for 3 years. Tony disappeared. The manager's gone, probably one of the better managers in the Premier League. And I just think these 3. I think Leeds. I think we could be finishing 2 or 3 places above that.
I think they're.
I'll get to my list,
Burnley,
but
basically.
Annoyingly, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. So there's mine.
Where are we at, Luke?
Go on. You far away with yours, mate. I'll do me last.
Yeah, sure. So bottom of the barrel, bottom of the league. I would say Burnley, and again for the same reasons. I think they've got some good players like Marcus Edwards. It's good that he's back in English football now. Really good winger, did well at Lisbon. Oh, ironically under Amorim.
Yeah.
I think that Burnley, they just simply don't have the firepower, and I don't think they have the resolute defensiveness to ensure. And I think the midfields, they'll pick up wins, and they'll pick up wins. They're more likely to beat Arsenal at home 1-0 and then get trounced 6-0 away at Everton or something ridiculous. So I think they go. I think Wolves. Yes, they've got Larson. Yes, Chang starting to Wang. Is it Chang? Yeah, he's starting to score again. But when I'm looking through, that they look weak.
I had them sitting just above.
I like Wolves.
I think they'll do business in the transfer window in January.
Honestly,
I don't think they got the money to do it.
I think George Mendes is still loosely involved, and I think that could be his catalogue could keep them up. But no, I think they're down. And then the third one to go down for me, I'm going to go with Sunderland, and I think that I think at home they're good, at the stadium alike, but I think the novelty is going to wear off. I think when we're talking around Christmas time and when the games are coming thick and fast, is their squad? Yes, they've got good leadership in Xhaka.
A lot of Africans as
well.
They
have, of course, absolutely.
But
of course, and I just don't think for me that they've got the quality in depth. On their day again at home, they look what they did to West Ham, know, and I get that, but I still think Potter will turn into Harry, and I think he could keep them up with a bit of magic. But ultimately, I think that's my 3 to go down.
What's going on with the fans at Sunderland as well? Why are the stadiums always empty?
Early stages of the cup is a break. It's a break for season ticket. You've got to buy your ticket, even if you've got a season ticket.
Okay.
So the earliest stages of the cup, because everyone does this, right? It's a break. It's a break for a game. Like you don't. Not many people go. That as a let's say a Man United fan that doesn't go to games, that's the ones you want to go to.
Yeah.
Early stages of the cups.
Okay.
Well, I got Sunderland finishing bottom for me.
Okay, yeah.
I love the hype. Good fans.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like
fans.
just
Unbelievable
because,
fans.
yeah, up there. But I just don't think they're going to have enough. And I really hope Ballard gets done in all season because I cannot stand it.
They have got money though, haven't they?
They've got money. They've got a young owner as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they spent a lot.
They got links with Marseille. Is that?
Yeah,
I think I'm right in
that's
saying something
interesting, that
along there.
link.
But I'm putting them bottom, and I'm going. Yeah, that's honestly what I think could happen this
Set
season.
in stone. See you, boys.
And then I've got Burnley finishing 19th. Poor little Burnley.
Nothing poor about
I
Burnley.
would love. They're probably the closest to West Brom in the Premier League for me.
Okay. As it's the same stature.
Yeah, like that sort
You
of.
and West Brom would be
how
very
we
similar.
would stay in the Premier League is kind of
How
like
they would.
like them signing Carl Walker was a bit like us signing Ivanovic. Like that's our.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be enough. I think they go down, and then I've got Wolves to finish.
Same
I am so happy that
Same three.
all
Yeah.
three of us have gone that Leeds are staying in the Premier League.
Yeah, I do.
I think Leeds.
But I'm also putting Leeds in there on the hope that a newly promoted team
Can stay up.
stays in the fucking Premier League.
I think there's a group of 5 teams. Really, if we're being brutally honest, there's a pool of 5-6 teams that's
Just
going to
gotta
be.
battle it out.
I think the league's split
Yeah.
into 3. But Luke, what's the next segment? Now we've done relegation.
Let's do top 5s as well,
Okay,
shall
cool.
we?
Okay.
That gives us a good insight, like
Are you,
incentive
do
to
you
look
want to
back on.
base them on? So I've done
Position.
I've got mine as just a top 5. But if I'm
Start
going
start
with,
fifth.
if
Start
I'm
fifth,
going
and we'll
with
go to
fifth-
champion.
If I'm going with 5th,
Yep.
and again, I'm probably going to get pelters for this.
I think I know what you're going to say.
I'm going to say Arsenal.
Oh, okay. I was not there. at all.
Clip it.
You need to clip that.
I think that Arsenal 2 seasons in a row just haven't got over the line. Yeah, they've done the business in the transfer window, as we said earlier. Genuinely looking at who's there now, I feel like Liverpool, for me, between Liverpool and City are going to win the league. They're my 2 I didn't know. I genuinely believe that Chelsea are just going to go under the radar and just slide into 3rd position. And then I think between them,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
This
think
is why the league's brilliant.
Again, I do think that Tottenham are going to have a massive bounce back. I think it's going to be huge under Frank. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near that bottom half of the table, and they're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
So between Tottenham and Arsenal, which everyone's going to love, watching them 2 battle it out for the 4th and 5th, I just think Chelsea are going to go under the radar. I think they're going to sit into 3rd. They could even finish higher and could go into 2nd place between Liverpool and Man City there. I just think Liverpool, with what they've done last year, as long as, like we said earlier, they get that chemistry right, they should piss the league.
Yeah.
They should piss the league.
They
On
should.
paper.
They should.
On paper,
Yeah.
And I know as a Liverpool fan, you're going to go, yeah, but I just, that's my opinion. I do think that they should.
It's always like, look at the
They've
quality.
just won it.
Yeah.
They just made it look easy. And I think they're going to.
Well, I think
So-
the league's tough.
So I'm going.
Give me from fifth.
I think Liverpool going to win the league.
Yeah, okay.
Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal.
Okay.
Get a screenshot of it, and that's what I'm going with.
Give me 6 and 7. No, I'm just
6
intrigued.
and 7?
Go on. Who's still getting Europe? Where's your Villas and your
I think
Man United and your
Newcastle
Forest?
stay in there depending on how. If they do well in the Champions League, it's momentum for Newcastle again. Like Sunderland,
Yep.
the fan base is wild.
Yep.
One club city. I think if they can,
They
keep
can get
the
you a
momentum,
win. The fan base like that can get you a win.
If they can keep the momentum, I do just believe that they're just sitting in around.
Yep.
And then below, it could be anyone's. Brighton might sneak into it again. But I don't know. From there down, like James said, it's split into 3.
Yeah.
That next segment in the middle
They're
could
good teams,
fucking be
mate.
anyone.
Bournemouth,
United to be Bournemouth. United back in that mix.
Yeah.
Everton.
That's what I mean. Everton
Villa.
under Moyes this year
God,
is going to be
Jackie
completely
Grealish,
different.
mine.
I mean, the Arsenal one, we'll clip that. And if you get that right, I'll say.
I like it.
take it.
I will
I
down
mean,
a- I will down
it's
a pint.
it's complete crap, but I like it.
If that Arsenal comes off, I will down 2 pints, one after the other on here.
All right.
And do an episode.
God.
Yeah. That's a deal. That's on. Okay, so mine. I'm going to start off with. I'm going to start off number 7. Then I'm going Everton. I think David Moyes. is going to get them incredibly difficult to beat at the back, as we found out halfway through last season. Defensively, they're sound and solid.
You took 3 points at the perfect time.
No doubt.
No doubt. Time to play.
Yeah. I think in terms of Jordan Pickford, England goalkeeper, Tarkowski, Keane, whatever, they're decent, and I think they're robust. And I also think the introduction of Jackie Grealish on the left and Beto doing his bits, and the new stadium, feel good factor. It's just it's a fresh start. With
Grealish and Dewsbury Hall are two very clever signings.
And who I love that player. So. After that, I've gone for, in 6th place, is Newcastle United. I would not underestimate their window. Yes, the 2 forwards. Okay, take that aside. Jacob Ramsey. Yeah, all right. Stick him in there with Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton. Yes, please.
Gordon on
Harvey
fire.
Barnes, Gordon. They're good. And then obviously the centre-back, Tior, coming in from AC Milan, supplemented by the great Fabian Schär and Sven Botman, who's a colossus of a defender. Look at the right-backs, Trippier and Livramento. Lewis Miley chipping in. The left-back's good. The goalkeepers, got Aaron Ramsdale and Pope.
Yeah, that's good.
They've got a good team. And I think, yes, they've had a difficult start, but actually, as soon as they find their feet, I can see them going up the table. And I put them in 6th place for me. 5th, I've gone with Tottenham Hotspur. I think under Thomas Frank, until he goes to Man United, that he'll do well there for them. I did not
expect that from you.
And I think that I have to be realistic with this. They've got a good opening start to the season. Yes, they lost to Bournemouth. Granted, that can happen to anybody. We struggled against them opening night.
You play all the same teams twice. It doesn't matter who you have.
But I think an early momentum to get that confidence and get Arsenal. Tottenham always usually do it. They win 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9 at the beginning of the season. Then it falls apart around Christmas. Then they get a little couple of peaks and troughs and end up around 6th, 7th, 8th. And I think it would be the same again. But under Frank, could be different. But they are Tottenham, just ask PSG. In 4th place, I've gone with Chelsea. I think the introductions of João Pedro and Delap, supplemented by Cole Palmer, Esteval. They've now got Jamie Bino Gittins. Who's the other one they brought in on the wing? I don't know. They're class. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia when he's about. The defenders, Hato, great signing. I think Maresca's got them. We know he's one-dimensional. We spoke about that before, but I think they've got off to a great start. Probably got out of jail against Palace at home to Eze's goal that should have counted.
I think they were lucky.
They still have
Fulham
9.
Well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They still have 900 goalkeepers.
Yeah, but we have to,
without number 1.
We have to acknowledge. I mean, look at the 2 right backs, Gusto and Reece James. They're good. Cucurella at the left back. They're good.
Well doing bits.
So I think that ultimately they're, like you say, they can go under the radar. I've
the
gone
big
for,
top 4.
So Chelsea 4th. I've gone for Arsenal in 3rd place.
Yeah.
I think that the squad's there, but if you were to put Carlo Ancelotti in charge of that squad, I think you get a different outcome. Yeah. Or Diego Simeone, for instance, I think that the manager
couldn't get more boring.
But I think defensively they're probably the best in the league.
He's got a second, isn't he?
He is. He won the league with them.
We've all been down that road. But ultimately, I think that defensively they're strong, like stone. They're brilliant. They're brilliant in Sapi. Wow. I think they're brilliant at the back. My problem is I don't think the manager is tactically pragmatic enough to be free-flowing and attacking an open play. I feel they're too safe, and I think Liverpool were there for the taking at Anfield, and they didn't take it. And I'm saying that as a Liverpool fan, while we're finding our feet, they're ready-made, they're good to go. And I think emotionally, no, not for me. Second, I've gone with Liverpool, simply due to for 2 reasons. The first reason is I never, ever predict Liverpool to win the league on any podcast. Enough. I've done over 150 podcasts, radio shows, you name it. I've never, ever, I think the 1 or twice I did do it.
I think that is boring.
Do you know who he sounds like?
Well,
Simon.
Yeah. So, for the listeners, Simon's in our group chat, and he's the king of football insurance. They could be lining up against Burnley at home to win the league, and go difficult game.
But bearing in mind, we've just come off the back of you beating Arsenal.
I think, I do. I think that ultimately,
and Man City just losing to Brighton.
Hey, these are his predictions.
I think it's the prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
He hopes he's wrong.
I want to be wrong, you know. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, "You bloody better be wrong." But I think ultimately our joy may come in another big competition, the one that we're always aligned to. And I think the winners, you can never discount Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Yes, they've had a difficult time. Yes, they've got Man United in a derby, which they could slip up.
It's that form at the end of the season that they do well.
They're
so good.
Yeah.
Put them in the Grand National. But yeah, that's my predictions, mate.
Okay.
Simon will be in touch.
Shall I just do a quick whiz through mine?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 7th, I'm going to go for Spurs.
Why are you all like? I said like Spurs
No,
going to
it's
do
all
all right,
right.
and everyone's like,
Seventh, I'm going Spurs. 6th, I'm going to go Man United.
Oh my Jesus!
I still, bearing in mind we're
Check
off the-
that drink. Check that cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I just think stats. They're there. If they pick up a bit of
Stats
form
don't win
and
you games,
confidence,
man. We know this as football.
Speak
fans,
to Sam
you
Allardyce,
know
mate.
Stats don't
He
win you
is-
goals win you games.
and it will come. I think they will do it.
I hope you're.
I'm going to put it out there, and this is who I thought. This is when you said before you said Arsenal. I thought this is who you were going to go for.
No. More
So
No European football and only 2 competitions to play in. In my opinion, a club that size,
should
of
be
those
correct.
players should be up there. But I don't think they will because I
and
think
then
they're cursed at the minute.
in 5th, I'm going to put Newcastle just because.
Yeah.
yeah.
Their depth of squad and manager,
Yeah.
they're structured now. They should be in and around top 4, fighting for that
That'll be
top
it
4.
now, yeah.
Don't think they'll have enough because they've not with everything that's happened with Isaac and whatever. They're going to take a little bit. The goals will come. The strikers,
got lots of players
do you know
who
what I
can
mean?
score goals.
It'll come.
Jacob
I think-
Murphy is banging in. 10
I think
plus
it might
last
just
year,
hurt them a little bit that it'll happen a bit late and they'll
Yeah,
finish
yeah,
5th.
yeah.
So that's my
I think
5th.
they'll have the Villa syndrome of last year.
Emotional. Damage.
4th, I'm going to go Chelsea. Again, it's
Under
going
radar.
to be. It's going to. I'm hoping it's going to be tight in the top 4. Like in my head, that's how it's going to be. 3rd, I'm going Man City. Summit. We're thought start of the season. I would have said top just because it's something's not right for me. Something's.
I'm with James.
Something's not quite. Yeah, and I agree. I've loved him in the Premier.
If Pep was in Vegas,
Yeah.
Haaland.
Yeah, mate.
Get you points.
If Pep's in Vegas doing a magician's fucking act for 2 weeks, I'm gonna get a ticket.
Yeah,
The bloke can do anything. You don't know what he's going to do. Pep roulette's a real
And he's
thing.
back with his wife, allegedly.
That's a big factor to be fair.
Rumour has it.
Hold on, but in any job in real life, for me personally, if I'm not with my wife, okay, that's my left arm. I struggle.
Yeah.
I struggle to do things. I struggle to. Do you know
We
what I
all
mean?
joke, but we've seen it like Rashford with his girlfriend. His form dropped.
There is a real big
Jesse Lingard.
conspiracy,
Jesse
here,
Lingard.
chaps. There is one of the biggest conspiracies going in football.
Go on.
That she's the genius.
Yeah, she could be. She could be.
Friends ex-women, like Nancy
She's
Delelio,
the
wherever it
genius.
was.
Do you reckon?
Is there
Do you
reading
reckon
him
it's like?
tactics?
Do you reckon it's like Warnock when his wife had a dream about so and so
Oh, he's
playing
going
up
up front,
top?
scoring 2 goals.
We should do an episode on managers and things like Ian
Every
Holloway.
time he's just waiting
So
for her
she's
to
waiting
wake
him up
up.
front.
Every time, what's the lineup?
What's
then?
going on?
What are we doing?
Is Rodri going to be all right or not?
2nd, Arsenal. 1st, Liverpool for me. That's how I see it.
What's the
playing out.
reasoning with Arsenal's second place?
Because it's the same again. Arsenal on paper for me, that squad. If I'm a manager, that's probably a squad I want. In all seriousness, that is the squad I
Give me that
want.
squad on Football Manager, I'll win everything.
But it's like you said, the emotional side of Arteta done help.
Yeah.
And I think that's because he was a better player than most of the managers.
He was a graceful player.
He was, but he was that passionate sort of player, and I think that's hurting his career slightly.
It's a poor version of Klopp, emotional wise, because Klopp used the emotional in a positive energy,
Yeah.
whereas
He
this
was
guy
smart with it. He was smart with it.
And then obviously, why have you got Liverpool to win the league? Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Right. After looking at the league,
Should we go top goal scorer?
let's go with some of the classics. Your goal scorer.
Are we all going to agree on top goal scorer?
See, I've got a couple here. I've got a one to watch and one that I hope is goal scorer.
Let's.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do.
Start again.
Let's do our top goal scorers quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to go straight off the bat. I've got 2. I've got the one that I think's just going to straight up win it.
Okay.
Haaland. I think he's going to.
Yeah, I've gone Haaland.
And my one to watch and secret, I genuinely believe the Joel Pedro is going to be out there. The way he's playing for Chelsea, their system seems to just work for him.
I know what you're saying, but he drops a little too deep sometimes for me. He'll do
the way he plays.
If you do overall goals, like goal contributions, I think he's bang up there.
Yeah.
But he ain't going to compete with Haaland for goals. Who have you gone top goal scorer?
Top goal scorer, I've gone with. Do you know I did have Alexander Isak, and then we just talked about penalties and how Pedro is a penalty taker.
Yeah.
But for Liverpool, Isak scored penalties for Newcastle, right?
It's going to be Salah. It's got to be Salah.
Salah takes them, so that changes things. So I'm going to go with Erling Haaland as the top scorer in the Premier League. And what was the second thing you wanted to know?
Just the one to watch. I've got
the one player to watch, young player to watch.
No goals, just in that sort of
goals.
bracket.
Oh, well, then Isak. No disrespect. You put Isak into that Liverpool team. He's different to Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
This guy's going to score.
I'm excited to watch Wissa at Newcastle.
Yeah.
I want him to do well.
Clip this,
Semenyo
and I'll look direct into the camera.
Oh, mate,
I'll tell the camera straight. And for those listening, Wissa will not do very well at Newcastle. He will get around 12 goals at best. I'm telling you that now. They've overpaid. So yeah, and yourself, mate. And you gone Haaland?
Yeah, Haaland. Yeah.
So we've all gone Haaland.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah,
I can't really see many of us getting the way he scores goals. He scores all types of goals.
Have you guys got most assists?
Yeah.
Have you picked someone for most assists?
Yeah.
I've gone Saka.
Okay.
Do you want to know who I've gone with? And I've put in brackets, run away with it.
Okay.
Jack Grealish. He has 4 already.
Yeah.
In 2 games. I believe that he is going to be the key to that Everton team succeeding.
Does pick up injuries.
Does he though? Or did he just get dropped?
I think he gets dropped.
He probably got dropped. Pep Roulette, like we said, is a thing.
This is the first time he started 3 consecutive games. It's over 2 years. Something like that.
I went to Ireland away with England. The manager at the time, Carsley, played him in his favourite position, ripped it up.
That's what I mean. He's now, I've watched him twice, and he's been the best player on the pitch.
And for you?
Yeah, so I've gone with, even though this player's going to be going to AFCON, I'm going with Mohamed Salah. I think the assists that he's making, and I think his role is going to be slightly different. I think he'll end up as the second top scorer in the Premier League. I do. I think he'll get there, but I don't think he's going to be as prolific as last season. But I believe his numbers for setting up goals and chances creation, XG.
Yeah. Quick question then.
High.
Do you think he'll get to the Shearer?
No.
I don't.
No.
I don't think he's going to be in there long enough.
The only person that can do that in this era is Harry Kane.
And do you see him coming back to the Prem?
Harry Kane?
Yeah.
On a side note, I think he'll go back to Tottenham.
Back to Tottenham?
Yeah.
I believe that's...
Or Man United. If
the conversation that I've had with a few Spurs fans...
I think it would only be Spurs.
To make up mythical sequences in their mind where they believe they're a bona fide... We know what Tottenham are like. But then, so obviously... you done your assists, mate? Saka?
Yeah, I've done Saka.
Golden Glove?
David Raya for me. Arsenal structure.
I went with Raya. I can't really see anyone else keeping as many clean sheets as they do.
Yeah, David Raya.
They're solid at the back. It's not even about him as a goalkeeper.
No, it's the structure.
Even their depth, you could have their second back 4 and that would still be as good as a top 5.
Even though I hope they don't, because I want them to finish like 5th.
Okay, agreed on that. Young players, everyone's young player this season.
Yeah, I've gone with the Chelsea boy who's going to play Esteval.
Esteval,
honestly, mate.
And I love that.
I've gone
been
with the same.
Really good so far. But, and this is a bit of a controversial one because he's not that young anymore. But I think this is Oscar Bob's time.
Oscar Bob
playing.
Yeah.
He's back from his injury.
Obviously, this was supposed to be last season.
Break.
This was supposed to be that leg break.
Delayed,
whole season.
Delayed
so that's who I've gone, and I'm excited to see him because he is good. I hope the injury's not killed him too much. But all right, go on then. Player of the season.
Well, I've gone with, instead of player of... Oh, yes, I have. I've gone... you're going to laugh at this, right? But given everything that's gone on over the summer...
If it's a CDM, I'm going to lose my head because I'm so fucking bored of it.
No. After everything that's gone on in the season, everything that's gone wrong, the mental side of things, the legal issues now, everything that's arising, I think this guy will score goals, and I think Alexander Isak will have a season of redemption and end up as the player of the season.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I've gone with the City bounce back of City winning the league, dominating football, and Haaland just absolutely...
You're going Haaland.
Everyone,
I've gone, and this is going back to you talking about Salah with assists. I've picked Salah because goal contributions.
High.
I don't think he's going to be top goal scorer, but I think he's going to pass that baton on.
He'll get 23 goals and 15 assists.
I think I think this is going to be his last season at Liverpool. I think he goes to Saudi. Yeah. So I think this is going to be that season where he's, instead of chopping in and bending it far, he's going to pass someone's going to slot.
I've got 2 more segments left before we end this now. I'm about to go on to a night shift in the next 10 minutes. So basically, signing of the season, I've gone with Jack Grealish.
Yeah, mine was Grealish, but also I know he's going to go under the radar, is Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
Both of them going to Everton. I think that both of them are great signings.
I want to add Eze into that because I think he's going to do really well there. I think he has that... He just has that structure for Arsenal. Like, he's got the flair that Martinelli hasn't had over the last 2 seasons, and he's a bit of a star boy himself. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They've got 2 star boys now.
Do you know what the difference is between the Arsenal and the Liverpool major signings of the summer? They've got Eze, haven't they? That's their major signing. You could argue Guy Corres. For me, it's him. It's Eze, and as is Isak. Is how the club unveiled them. Tells you everything about the clubs. Arsenal bringing Ian Wright, it's an emotional thing, hugging, welcome, and then Alexander Isak.
Uncle Wrighty.
He's cold. He walks in. What do you want to achieve at Liverpool? He just sits there, looks at the camera. Just want to win everything. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
And I think that they're just too emotional. For me, I've got a flop of the season. And for me, the flop of the season, I love this player, will turn out to be world class one day, but I'm going with Benjamin Sesko. I don't think he's going to rub up any trees at all this season at all, mate. I think he's going to get maximum 15.
Luke can't say that because he's got United.
I think he'll probably get around 10 goals, mate.
I'm going to say Verts, and I hope it's not true. I mean it is
second half against Arsenal.
I hope it's not true. I just don't know. I just don't know if he's going to addict the
not
pace.
Precious off of him now with the
regardless, he was the second highest British signing we've had. I just think the pressure's there. He's still young, and I hope this isn't true because I do like him as a player. I just don't know if he's going to pull his weight there. And I think someone like Gakpo, who's already doing bits, is going to just go, well, cheers, mate. I'll take that opportunity. If you ain't, I will.
I just hold on with him, mate. He's class. And then, have you got a flop of the season?
I didn't do a flop of the season. I've been thinking, but I honestly can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I wanted to say, I think Wissa's going to be that striker for Newcastle. So I want to say their other man, but it's harsh because he's so young. Yeah. But then they paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I don't...
80 million, isn't it?
80 million, that's what I'm saying. So you're expecting double figures. I think he probably won't do double figures in the Prem. And I could be so wrong. That's a bold one. But I think Wissa will be that man.
Okay, so dark horse team for me, as we get to the end of this mammoth opening show, is Everton. I think under David Moyes, new stadium. We spoke about it earlier in my predictions of them breaking into the top 7. Beto up front doing really well. Ndai, they're good.
Not.
I think
he was nearly on his way out the door.
Yeah, he's not it for me.
He's scoring goals, and I tell you what, if you're looking for a cheap striker on FPL as your third striker, that's your man. That's for me, Everton. Who are you going to go with, mate?
I'm going to go Bournemouth just because Semenyo.
But then is that dark horse after what they've been doing again for the last couple of years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then I think Palace, you know where they are. They're going to be in and around mid-table. So has anybody...
I'm backing my boys.
Tell you what, mine Palace.
You think
I'm
Leeds?
backing my boys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just below maybe 10th. And for us, if you go, Leeds finishing in and around that 10th in the middle part of the table, you're going to go, fuck off. Well, but I'm going to back the boys. I think that, like we said earlier, with Newcastle and Sunderland's home advantage of being at home, there's fucking no difference to Leeds being at Ellen Road. That place is a joke.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to drag us through some points and pick up some...
Off camera, we've spoken about you've played teams at good times so far.
If you had said to me beginning of the season...
You've had 2 clean sheets as well, haven't you?
2 clean sheets. Newcastle...
Yeah.
Newcastle, granted, at the time, 4 or 5 senior players missing.
Yeah.
Nice. Picked up a 0-0 draw. Take that every day.
Yeah.
You then picked up a 3 points at Everton, who for me, again, like you just said, they're going to be the dark horses. Yeah. Moisey's doing bits there.
Yeah.
Picked up 3 points. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, we've been battered by Arsenal, but I'm not going to let Arsenal define my season away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, to wrap it up, good shout, and you back your team. Fair
Always
play.
back my boys.
Mine was tactical with the I've always done it. I've never ever. It is what it is. I'm too superstitious.
We're back in the Prem. What I
will say, toughest away matches to go to in the Premier League. Usually Old Trafford, not anymore. I'd say Newcastle is a tough place to go. I would say that your place is a tough place to go. I'd say Anfield's a tough place to go.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would say the other place, a difficult place to go.
Man United really struggle at Old Trafford.
Mate, I'd even say like Man City's a tough place to go. Not unless you're Tottenham, they always do well there. But that concludes, obviously, episode number 1 of the Stanchion podcast. My name's James.
My name's Lee.
And I'm Luke.
And we'll see you again very, very soon.
Cheers, guys.